to Policing TV. I'm here in the Policing TV studio with Duncan Faulkner, who is the founder and chief exec of Evidentful, more of which in a moment or two. Also a former police officer and helicopter pilot. We talked about that in our first of these two videos, so do go and have a watch of that first video. In this video, Duncan, we're going to look at and hear from you about the work that you're doing on Evidentful. You'll be showcasing that at the National Police Chiefs Council Innovation and Digital Summit, taking place in the UK and Liverpool a little later this month. And we're also going to get some reflections from you on some of the challenges for policing, not just in New Zealand, not just in the UK, but potentially worldwide. Um, but let's start, if we may, with you're telling us something about Evidentful, what it is that you've been doing in ICT, what led you to set up Evidentful, and something about the journey that you'll be inviting those at the National Police Chiefs Council Summit in Liverpool to hear from you about.
Thank you. So, Evidentful, we automate witness interviews for police services. The problem that we're trying to solve is around the response, the police response to crime. So, if you look at the UK, for example, 6 million reported crimes, 9 million crimes in total, if you factor in the 3 million that's not actually reported. And then you look at the number of police officers that are actually available to investigate this crime. So around about 171,000 police officers. So there's this expectation on police to be solving crime, but it's an impossible task to do at any real meaningful level. And with the advancements of AI, there's this historic opportunity to actually start to do something about that. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to support frontline police officers and managers to harness technology so we can better serve the communities, so we can investigate more crime and ultimately bring more offenders to justice.
So you're bringing this from your New Zealand base to the United Kingdom and showcasing this at in Liverpool. What are you hoping to achieve from that time in Liverpool? Is it something where you're looking to um, introduce Evidentful to the UK following developments in New Zealand? Are you looking to bring this to a worldwide audience? What is it what's the purpose behind that sponsorship and showcasing at the summit in Liverpool?
For us, it's about increasing our exposure to police. We've been in research and development mode for the last 2 years with Evidentful, ever since we kind of had that light bulb moment around the use of this technology. And ultimately, you want to get to a stage whereby you feel like the tech is where it needs to be, and you want it to get in the hands of the people that are going to use it, which are the police officers. So this is our opportunity to meet people at the expo, to talk them through the technology, and try and get some trials underway and some pilots established in the UK.
And you already have good links with the United Kingdom, with the National Police Chiefs Council, and others there. So I'm sure you'll see some familiar faces. You'll meet some friends there, and I imagine that you're also keen that those interested in what you've already described come up and have a chat to you. They'll recognise you from this video, but am I right in saying that if you're there in Liverpool at the National Police Chiefs Council Innovation and Digital Summit, then do make a point of going up and speaking to Duncan? You're keen on having those approaches.
Yeah, I'd love to speak to as many people as possible, because when it comes to building technology, it's really important to speak to the users of it, because they have a direct input into how this project and product evolves over the next 5 or 10 years. So we want to hear from people to understand their challenges. I've got my views on what we can do to help using AI. Other people will have their own views, and we want to really understand what does a good product look like for the police, but what does it also look like for the communities as well. We've been quite fortunate that we've managed to secure a pretty decent chunk of money from the New Zealand government to assist in user-led kind of research and development. And we want to really understand how can we best reinvest that back into policing. And look, it's got to be a collaboration of sorts.
So I believe that the software that you've been developing, you and your team, and supported by the New Zealand government, is potentially not just of use in New Zealand, but also in the United Kingdom and potentially many other jurisdictions.
Absolutely. So the globally, people often look to the UK for high standards of policing, and we should be very proud of that. And that's why we've chosen to really focus on the UK to start with. We want to do this right. AI represents a really good opportunity, and we don't want to, we want to make sure we do the best job we can possibly do, and we don't want to disappoint other people in the tech sector or in the policing space. So for us, it's about working with industry leaders, the British Police, to develop this product, to make sure we've done all the checks around the ethical use of AI, to make sure it can meet the thresholds that's required for the Crown Prosecution Services, and that actually the public themselves are comfortable with engaging with it as an alternative to engaging with police officers at times. So we want to go through that with the British Police. We want to build a really high quality product. And ultimately, yes, we then want to take it to North America and support services over there. And we're already getting interest for that.
So a huge opportunity for policing with increasing use of AI. You touched on a little earlier in our conversation the frustration that you found as a young police officer in Northampton and also to some extent in New Zealand at not being able to get on with the core job, being a little hidebound by admin or by policy or whatever. So the sorts of approach that can be facilitated by AI really exciting in giving police officers much more time to get on with what is really their core duty of, in broad terms, keeping the public safe rather than filling in forms. So, um, do you see there as significant opportunity for police forces around the world in AI? And what do you think some of the challenges that AI can address might be?
It's a historic opportunity for policing. Like, we have to be really clear on that. Like, for years, policing has become complacent with incremental increases to performance while still sitting around this very, very low level of case detection rates. If policing was a business, it would have gone out of business years ago. But the reality is the people that work in policing are really passionate, good people that really are trying to make a difference. And I will keep using that phrase because I really believe in it. But they don't have the tools to be able to fight crime effectively at the scale that's needed to make a real impact. And you look at our focus is on low harm, high volume crimes, like your thefts, your damages. That's 70% of total crime. And when I was a police officer, I worked in community policing. We spent the vast majority of our time running around collecting witness statements for these crimes that had already happened. And there's this pressure put on frontline police officers to be staying on top of their caseloads, but still being out there and being proactive. The two don't really work well together. Because if you're going to be proactive, you need that time to be on the streets, to be gathering the intelligence, and to be actioning it. And that's the gap that we're trying to fill. A lot of these crimes, you don't necessarily need a police officer to be gathering the evidence. What you need is a person or a thing that is trained on the process of gathering evidence. And that's the void that we're trying to fill. So instead of being the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, okay, we want to put the fence at the top of the cliff and prevent that leakage of resources.
It's a great summary of the aim and ambition that you and Evidentful have, Duncan. I'm going to bring the second conversation to a close here, but it would be it's entirely appropriate for me to wish you all the very best in your visit to Liverpool in the next week or so for that National Police Chiefs Council Innovation and Digital Summit. I'm sure that you will get plenty of interest there in Evidentful. And I'll look forward to our having future conversations here on Policing TV that talk about some of the success that by then you'll have had with specific forces, whether UK, New Zealand, or indeed wider around the world. So, Duncan Faulkner, founder of Evidentful, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.